So let's take a look at Fitcher's bird. The tale is not just the tale of an outsider, a seducer, a predator, but that of a sorcerer. So the stranger one shouldn't talk to, ready to kidnap his bride. So the Greek and Italian versions of this tale use the devil as the abductor, but we have here the prototype slasher film, the vagrant who lures women out of their home, kidnaps them, then murders them like he has countless others. It's a horrific sight for a child. And much like the slasher genre, there is a final girl who takes up the challenge. Usually in the films, it's a phallic symbol that symbolically indicates her taking on a male or really more aggressive role, and then destroying the iteration of the beast for that moment. In this tale, we have the youngest daughter as a final girl solving the puzzle with without the help of any male assistance. And the Fitcher chops things apart. The sisters put them back together, and she is also able to preserve the egg and keep it from defilement, much like the final girl who abstains from sex and then with her purity is able to overcome the male stabber, with the egg a clear indicator of fertility and the bloodied egg suggestive of intercourse or impurity that results in the other's doom. So she can hide by becoming half animal, half human, and use a stand-in double out of a skull to deceive the Fitcher. So she assumes the powers of the magician or sorcerer to reclaim life, whereas he used it to take life. As in all horror films, the prohibition is given that is broken, which results in the breakers of that taboo's death. And there is this moralistic background or message to the killings in that sense. Superficially, it is because they have broken a simple rule. Don't be curious about what is forbidden. That's the main rule. And the insight, however, is that the brutal one has actually no secret in that room. It's only his own brutality. So once she has figured out that the emptiness of his power over her, then she is quickly able to reverse it and use it against him. Her true alliance is not with those living, but with those who have perished, the victims. Therefore, the skull is used and deceives him into greeting it. She has a new lightness of being that allows her to move away from the domestic death trap, so that then the punishment is meted out, but now by her brothers, as she is now able to relinquish her phallic role aligned with death and return to her social role as sister. So the robber bridegroom is exceptional in many ways. This tale is one in which the female protagonist, uses her narrative powers, her eloquence, her argumentation to present a case and win the day, much like Scheherazade did in 1001 Arabian Nights. The tale shares other aspects with other serial killer and abandoned children's stories, such as the laying down of a path, here a rather ominous one as it is laid down in ash, foreshadowing and foreboding, signifying violence and death that allow for only a one-way path as they will soon be blown away with the wind or rain. Other moments that foreshadow the danger she is entering into include the bird and the woman who aligns herself with her and actually protects her against the brutal men, but can do nothing for the other girls. A powerful and gruesome scene that suggests rape, assault, and cannibalism, with the key evidence falling within reach of the young girl. It's a moment of suspense which has the audience hold their breath, or the reader hold their breath, and as she is almost found out in her hiding space. It is again the symbol of domestic life, this wedding ring finger that becomes the very thing that undoes the bridegroom. Unyielding as she escapes and the bridegroom comes to take her away, she stands forth and accuses him, producing hard evidence publicly for him to find no way of escape. So the tale is also exceptional in its ending, where we have one of the only instances of first-person narration in a tale itself, making it very well prepared for a public performance. Now, Bluebeard is one of the tales that was removed from later editions as it was considered too French, since Perrault invented the tale himself. And in it, we have a tale that may have been inspired by Villeneuve's Beauty and the Beast, where the beast appears as a man, but has the heart of a killer. It's sort of an inversion of her tale. We can already see at the outset of the tale that there is something amiss. The marriage would have been happy if not for his blue beard. And just like the beast, he offers wealth and a comfortable living, but looks rather jarring. Unlike the beast, he doesn't transform into a handsome, gentle prince because there is one thing missing. There's no bedroom scene. Instead, he leaves. But much like in Fitcher's Bird and the Robber Bridegroom, he's left his new wife alone. It is then through their own curiosity, or through her own curiosity, that she ends up trying out the key in the hole. Or perhaps this is indicative of the impotence of Bluebeard in his quick vacancy and the sexual curiosity of the young wife, who has broken the prohibition of seeing what is in the room and is unable to remove the blood from the key. Perrault may have been writing this about his rival Boyer. This is sort of conjectured, who was known to have been missing one testicle and was rumored impotent. Why, you might ask, and pick on this person? Well, is Perrault's brother who had operated on him and left him impotent. And so this might have been a way to smear him. In the story, he murders the women to protect his own ego from their discovery of his wound, and he's unable to defend himself against the two brothers, perhaps Perrault and his doctor brother. The pattern is unsatisfying, therefore it becomes serialized, needed to be compulsively repeated. The one may argue it is somehow perhaps satisfying and therefore drives him to repeat it. The secret of the room is that there is no secret. Again, there's no reason why Bluebeard should dominate the household, that she needs to fear or rein in her curiosity, or else she may simply find that he is actually impotent. The key and room become a test to see if she will obey without question, but she finds out that there is no reason to and calls her brothers. So unlike Fitcher's bird in The Robber Bridegroom, here she must rely on men, but this is also because it is directly taken from Perrault's authorship. So in this lecture, you have seen the brutality of childhood, been introduced to a converted tale of the Fairy King, death as a commentary, as a sad state of medicine, a couple of extraordinary tales in the Juniper Tree and The Robber Bridegroom. And then we also have the features of a final girl like story in Fitcher's Bird. And unlike the story of Bluebeard, the impotence of that's once figured out provides the woman with power, while Bluebeard's wife must rely on her brothers for rescue.